Hi, good morning. In this tutorial, we're going to take a look at Mac's terminal application, which you can use to browse your files and directories in your computer without using a graphical user interface. So to do that, the first thing I'm going to do is go to my applications, and under Utilities, here's Utilities, there's Terminal. So I'm going to open that up, and for future reference, I'm going to keep this in the dock so I can access it later. Okay, so I'm going to back up a little. Finder is one application you can use to view files. So when you click on a file on your desktop, here's my practice file, folder. Here's my practice folder, and inside I have a document I'm working on file. So that's one way to do it. Terminal and Unix-based terminals, or what are called shells, allow you to access files and folders, or directories as they're often called, using just this terminal application rather than using the graphical user interface. And this is helpful because many programs do not have a graphical user interface, but are rather accessed through the terminal. So we'll talk about one such program called Git a little later. But for now, we're just going to practice navigating. I'm going to call them directories now, but just think directories and folders are the same thing on our computer. So the first command I'm going to show, so this is called pwd, and that stands for print working directory. So what that does is prints the current file path or directory path that you are currently sitting in. If you can imagine that you're somewhere on your computer's file system, printing working directory shows you where you are currently. So I'm in my users directory, in a particular user directory called tutorial because I'm making a tutorial, so that's my profile. And now if I want to see what files are available here, I'm going to do a command called ls, or list those directories. So now you can see that I have desktop, documents, downloads, Google Drive, library, movies, music, pictures, public. So this may be familiar. If you open up Finder, you can see some of those same directories here. So I want to look into this practice folder or practice directory, and so I'm going to change directory. And what I know, it's sitting on my desktop, so the first thing I have to do is change directory to desktop. And the command to change a directory is cd, and then I start typing the folder or directory I want to access. A cool trick is, instead of typing the whole thing, if you type enough of the word or the directory name that it's unambiguous that there's other folders called that share that same name, then you can just press the tab button and the terminal will fill in the rest for you, so you don't have to type out the whole directory. Okay, so change directory, and now I'm going to do that same command, print working directory, and we should see something different. Okay, so we have up here our users tutorials directory. Now we're users tutorial desktop directory, and we can list the contents of this directory, and there's our folder called practice. Similarly, if you want to change directory into practice, just press P and then tab. Now we should be in this folder or directory list, and there's my document that I'm working on. So what I'd like you to do now is just practice access the terminal in on your MacBook. We'll talk about, there's a separate tutorial for if you're using a Windows because it's slightly different. So just access that and practice using these three commands. So print working directory, ls to list the contents of directory, and cd to change directory, so to change into a directory that you've printed. Okay, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Thanks.